Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in WILLENHALL Town Centre. The reason I'm in WILLENHALL Town Centre today is because a few weeks ago I visited the town specifically to have a look at the market, because I remember many years ago coming up here and the market stalls were all along Marketplace, but when I went up that Saturday there was hardly any stalls there at all. 3 or 4 perhaps, or half a dozen maybe. It wasn't very many at all. But today it's a Monday. It's a Monday afternoon, so there's no market today. But I thought I'd have a look, see how busy the actual town is these days. So let's go and have a look at the shops and see what's going on. WILLENHALL is, as most people would know, are famous for keys and locks, and there's many industries that was in WILLENHALL that were making locks. But I thought I'd start here, which once used to be a large Ford car showroom over here, before it was demolished and a Summerfield supermarket was built in its place. But on this car park here, just at the back of New Road, there was something called the Dale Foundry, and just ahead of me you can see there that roof line there, that was the Dale Lock company. There was once an electrical engineering company, and beyond the Dale Lock company was an industry that made something to do with tractors anyway. And this car park was, as I said, had the Dale Foundry, but there was all little houses dotted around all these industries, which was not unusual back in the late 1800s, the turn of the 20th century. All over the back of here you can just see there was a factory, there was a coach building company, and this is an area now for fly tipping. As you can see here, look at all this rubbish. It's just dumped here at the corner of this car park, which is now the car park to Poundland. I don't think we can see through here, but just through here, where this corner bit here used to be a lane called Waterglade Lane, that would lead down to those factories and houses along there. You can see some of the old surrounding walls. And as a case in point concerning old terraced houses dotted around industry, we have a couple just here in a road that was once known as Dimmingsdale, but now that's no longer exists. And here you can see, yeah, a couple of old houses just here. You can see this car park at the top end here is flooded due to Storm Aylwin, where this is a Monday afternoon coming towards the end of January now, and this is where Dimmingsdale would have continued along here. Is now called, this particular part of is now called Ensdale Row. I'm just standing here in Bilston Street, and just there you can see Dale House. It's been there since around the 1750s. It's now a restaurant. You can see all its original windows, a Grade 2 listed building, and it was owned by the Inks family. A last member of the Inks family died in around 1930. Grade 2 listed building. It was listed in 1951. And just have a look up here. Tildesley's Limited. That's a famous name, isn't it? Not sure what for. But this used to be Bow Street, and I think you notice it's a kind of a private car park here now. But Bow Street would have gone down there. Look, and up here to join up with Bilston Street. Bow Street no longer does that. And just off Bilson Street is the road, is the lane I just mentioned, Waterglade Lane. It's just an industrial lane now. Look how dirty and muddy it is down there. There's Cali Sweet Centre. That was once a pub, but I don't know what the name of it was. Just over there on the corner of Walsall Street is a very old pub called the Royal George. One of the great surviving pubs of Willenhall. Considering there was around 38 pubs in and around Willenhall Town Centre by the 1850s, which was more than sufficient for all those people who worked in all these heavy industries around here. Just here on the corner of Bilson Street, we've got kind of a small landscaped area here. And there's a sign here stating what it's about. It's the Willenhall Lock Workers' Memorial. There is evidence of a settlement here in Willenhall since Saxon times. So not sure if you can able to see that if you zoom in. It's a bit of a reflective sign, that one. Lest we forget the cinema, of course. There was a cinema on that site in 1914 and it was called the Coliseum. It held 400 patrons. It was built on the Hinks family estate, and when the last person of the Hinks family died in the 1930s, the whole of this estate behind there was sold off, and someone came along and bought some of the land to build a super cinema on there called the Dale Cinema, which held 1,500 patrons. It opened in 1932, it closed in 1967, and it became bingo for a few years before it became a Wetherspoons pub called the Malthouse. The Malthouse was opened December 1999, but it closed in March 2023. I think Wetherspoons managed to sell this property for about £600,000, and I believe planning applications have gone in to build some one-bedroom flats, so it's going to keep some of the building, some of the cinema, and convert it to flats. Just here on the corner of Marketplace is a Grade 2 listed building. It was the HSBC bank, but it's not been a bank now for a few years. So let's go along Marketplace then and see if we can spot a Turkish barber's. Oh, that didn't take long, did it? But there's a lot of old buildings along Marketplace. And there's a bank, there's Lloyd's Bank here. And just show you this old shop, Ironmongers. Got the clock tower, and it's showing the correct time as well. This is Cross Street just up here. Not much to Cross Street anymore. It was there was one or two pubs up down here. I don't think there's any pubs along here now. What do we have along here? We've got a small corner cafe there. We've got an hairstylist and a hair and beauty shop. We've got a fair few shuttered shops along here as well, look. And there's a nail bar. Oh, I don't know, what's this one? Looks like an old government building there on the corner of John Street. It's all boarded up now. And here was another pub just here. It's now Domino's Pizza. Lower Lichfield Street just ahead. Here in Cross Street, I do believe this was once a pub called the Swan, but it closed many years ago, what, about 1940? Show you the quick inscription here on the side of the clock tower, 1892. A few closed shops here, look. We do have a market here in Willenhall on the weekends. I came here a few weeks back. It was a Saturday and it was absolutely dead. There really wasn't any market to speak of. There has petitions gone into the Walsall Council to ask for help in order to invigorate the area of Willenhall, especially the markets, because it was a thriving market. I believe it used to come all down this street. Down here you can see all along here, but all I found when I came here on a Saturday was just a handful of stalls right at the top end. It's the post office. The post office in Willenhall has moved around a few times. Look at all these old shops. There's some old ones here, well over 100 years old, along this side. Some of them, as you can see, are a bit newer. Just show you over here, look. Very old house there, that's now for sale. It used to be an accountant's, but that house looks dated from around the 1600s, that one. And here's the bell, got the date at the front of 1659, the oldest pub in Willenhall. It's probably one of the oldest pubs anywhere in the Black Country, I'd imagine. Bought by the Willenhall Heritage Group, so it's a Grade 2 listed building, and you can see it goes all around there. There's curtains in there, there's curtains up in there, maybe there's people living in there at the moment. We've got here something called Bell Alley, just a little alleyway alongside the bell. Have a quick look up here, never been up here. What's up here, I wonder? Well, I do know that there was once an engineering works at the top end of Bell Alley. Let's go up here. Looks like a bit of a tip, doesn't it? Yeah, there was an old engineering works here. Get a better view of where the engineering works used to stand. Not sure what sort of engineering works it was, but there certainly was a factory here once, and we'll just take a look here at the rear of the Bell Inn, and also at the rear of this rather old house here that's all boarded up now, which was an accountant's. Windows are broken at the top. Yeah, at the bottom end of Bell Alley, look, you can see this place, which used to be a workhouse. It's now a dance academy. Well, I would. You can see it's a dance academy now. More or less opposite the Bell, we come across another very old building here, which again was another pub. And it's now a marketplace foot clinic. If we show you some of the old buildings, look, that are situated along here in Marketplace. And as the road bends to the left, to join Wolverhampton Street, just there on the left there, you'll find here on the corner used to be a cinema called the Picture House. Now the Picture House was built here in 1915, and it was closed in 1959 with a film called Storm on the Nile. Yeah, it was just here on the corner, the picture house. This fine old building here used to be the post office, and the one standing on the corner here of Stafford Street was another pub called the King's Head. There hasn't been a King's Head pub there for some time. It's now a carpet and bedding store. Show you this block here now. There was a very old shops there in the up till about the 1960s when they was all demolished. I believe they were in a rather poor state, but they were all demolished, and we had all this rather modern looking shopping block here. And sadly, when you look above them now, look, it's in a very poor state at the top. And then if I just walk over the road and show you the shops on the other side, which are still well over 150 years old in some cases, look, you can see how well these are looking. And that one, the market shop, was a pub once called the Plough. Sadly though, some of the shops are not as good as they once was in terms of what's in them. We've got a nail bar, we've got a Turkish bar was here, and well, we've still got a sandwich shop and a wool shop there, look. Every town had a wool shop. Perhaps Snitton's making a comeback. That one there looks like a do the liquor paint next to this market shop. Paint's flaking. If I just show you this block that was built in the 60s, because they were all for modernity back then, and because the Walsall ran out of money, they didn't exactly finish the job, because all this lot was all going to get demolished all along here, and it was all going to be ultra modern like this lot. Look at it, all shuttered and closed. A lot of the shops are disbanded, but that one certainly is in need of some attention. Right, let's take a look up Union Street. Now, Union Street isn't what it once was either, and look at the state of this place here. Look at all that cafe there, large cafe area, all shuttered, and they're all shuttered here. And if you look above there, the rooms are top there, the rooms above there are all bricked up, and the rooms up here got shutters on the front. The awning's falling down there. There's a charity shop here on the corner, but that's all shuttered now. A very old warehouse building here has seen some uses. Its last use was a carpet and beds, and we show you here some old houses that still stand here in Union Street and the Wesley Church here on the corner. Now, the thing about Union Street is it ends rather abruptly at the end now, but it would have carried on a lot further past that new supermarket called Morrison's there. Morrison's is on the site of a whole area that was demolished, whole industrial heritage site of lockworks, Union Lockworks, the Yale Lockworks. They were massive places and they're all gone. There was engineering works, there was a pub over there called the Shakespeare, foundries disappeared, a whole street called Clemson Street. It all disappeared when this huge store of Morrison's was constructed and the car park was built. Nothing there to suggest what mighty industrial factories on that site. To show you this other 60s block here as well, the shops. We've got a Pound City and opticians, and we've got 1, 2, 3 shuttered businesses along this block. Let's go and have a walk up here and see what we got left at the top of Stafford Street. And we've got another air and beauty here next to these couple of charity shops. And this is the beginning of a whole row here on the left of closed down shops now. It's not a very nice site at all, is it? Because there is talk of trying to invigorate the area of WILLENHALL, encouraging better shops and more shops to come here. And this one, I don't know what's happened to this here on the end. There's been a fire or something. Looks like an old shop there as well, doesn't it? Look where it's got the Shepherd's Air and Beauty. But look at this row here, eh? Now here was Dainties, and it used to sell all these bicycles, Triumph bicycles and Raleigh. I think it's been ravaged by fire and there's not much being done to it now. But there's an electrical wholesalers and television repair shop, and yeah, it was a lovely row of shops, this one. But sadly, there's nothing left to speak of, except to say that we've got three Banksys here, pictures. Banksy has been here in WILLENHALL, and I don't know if I'm one of the first to see them and notice that they are Banksys. No, so that should bring a bit more fame to the town of WILLENHALL. Anyway, here in Stafford Street we got the Three Crowns pub. It was once called the Gold Mine for a time. A bit of an old pub, this one, 1818, this one. Yeah, it was in 1996 when it was called the Gold Mine, and did a bit of refurbishment in 2007 and reverted to its original name of the Three Crowns. Littlewood Street up there, that will take you up to Morrison's. Along Stafford Street is a family business that's been running now since 1869, and it's called Wedges, a galvanising company, but it's still a family owned business. The chairman is a Mr. Wooldridge. This white building here now is owned by the Wedge Group Galvanising Limited. And if we cross, we can see the main reception frontage of the building. As I said, it's still in family. It's still a family-run business, and it's called B.E. Wedge. I think it's Bertram Wedge Holdings Limited. I think this used to be a school, but now I believe it's something to do with wedges, galvanising. I do believe Wedge have got the longest galvanising bath in Britain. What is it? 29 metres in length. So steel structures can be dipped and be free from corrosion. Now here is a bit more different affair. This was the Leg Lock Works. Huge place that dominated this particular corner of the street. Built here in 1881. And it closed in 2004. It had several owners since it was built by Joseph Legg, and the last owners was Ingersoll, and the name of this building in 2004 was II Security, I believe. But it had 2004 when it closed. It had a fire in 2016, as you tend to find when abandoned buildings suddenly it gets hit by an arson attack. There's talk now that it's going to be demolished soon to make way for, yeah, you guessed it, houses and apartments. Well, that was the end of our little walk around WILLENHALL Town Centre. It's nice to see there's a lot of a lot of heritage still surviving here in the town, and which was fortunate that it still stands, because as I've said, back in the 60s when they created that new block of shops along Stafford Street, there was talk that they was going to convert the whole of that area to look like that. So WILLENHALL would have lost a lot of heritage, which really would have been a sad loss indeed. But one of the things also I noticed when I was walking around today was the lack of people. It's a very, very quiet town now. Nothing like the hustle and bustle that WILLENHALL town used to be like, for sure. It's now very quiet, and that's just replicating a lot of our black country towns now. Anyway, we leave it at that, and if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.